Good evening, distinguished guests. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Shaw Prize Award Presentation Ceremony 2025, held at the Hong Kong Convention and Exhibition Center. I am Master Chan, your presenter tonight.
I'm Jason Chan. I'm honored to share this special evening with you. The Shaw Prize, established by Mr. Run Shaw in 2002 and first awarded in 2004, stands as a beacon of excellence, recognizing outstanding individuals who have made groundbreaking contributions to the fields of astronomy, life science and medicine, and mathematical sciences.
This year is the 22nd anniversary of the Shaw Prize. Tonight, we gather to pay tribute to the 2025 Shaw Laureates, whose remarkable achievements have greatly impacted our world.
With great pride, we now commence the Shaw Prize Award Presentation Ceremony 2025.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise to welcome our officiating guest, the Honourable John KC Lee, Chief Executive of the Hong Kong Special Administrative Region of the People's Republic of China. Mr. Lee, please.
We now invite the 2025 Shaw Laureates to enter the presentation hall. The Shaw Prize in Astronomy was awarded to two individuals. First, let's welcome Professor John Richard Bond.
A warm welcome to Professor George Efstathiou, please.
Following is the Shaw Laureate in Life Science and Medicine 2025, Professor Wolfgang Baumeister, please.
Let's now welcome the Shaw Laureate in Mathematical Sciences 2025, Professor Kenji Fukaya, please.
The Honourable John KC Lee, Shaw Laureates and distinguished guests. A warm welcome again to the Shaw Prize Award Presentation Ceremony 2025.
We're delighted to now invite Professor Kenneth Young, Chair of the Shaw Prize Council, to deliver the welcome remarks.
Mr. Chief Executive, distinguished laureates, esteemed guests, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 22nd Shaw Prize Award Presentation Ceremony. Before we commence our celebrations, allow me to say a few words about a profound loss that touches us deeply. It is with heavy hearts that we mourn the passing of Professor Chen Yang just a few days ago on Saturday. Professor Yang was a towering figure in science, and for us especially, a cherished founding member of the Shaw Prize. A Nobel laureate in physics, Professor Yang was pivotal in shaping the prize from its inception, providing visionary guidance that defined its mission and purpose. As the chair of the Board of Adjudicators from 2004 to his retirement in 2015, he profoundly influenced the prize's development and rise to global prominence. The Shaw Prize owes its success to key decisions shaped by Professor Yang's insights. On behalf of the Shaw Prize Foundation, I extend our deepest condolences to Professor Yang's family, friends, and the global scientific community. There is no better way to honor Professor Yang than to carry on with the legacy of what he helped to start. In this spirit, let us turn to the theme of today's gathering. We gather today to celebrate the advance of science and the people who push it forward. The Shaw Prize was established in the year 2002 by Mr. Run Shaw, a leader in the entertainment industry and a remarkable philanthropist. Long before founding the Shaw Prize, Mr. Shaw's generosity had touched countless lives. He established the Shaw Foundation in the 1970s and supported healthcare, education, art and culture, and those in need. Through these efforts, Mr. Shaw's vision of a better world took shape, a vision rooted in the belief that human progress depends on knowledge. It was this very belief that inspired Mr. Shaw to establish the Shaw Prize. With the support of Mrs. Mona Shaw, the prize has achieved notable success. The prize has now recognized over 110 outstanding individuals from around the world, and many of them have also received other prestigious international scientific awards. This year, we celebrate 4 laureates who have made impactful contributions in their respective fields. They transcend geographical boundaries. They hail from 3 different continents. We are inspired by their stories, and we reaffirm our commitment to fostering a global academic community, one that encourages collaborations and bold new ideas. Our mission extends beyond honoring excellence. This year, we continue to hold a range of activities aimed at engaging science enthusiasts of all ages, from students to senior academics. The future of science rests upon the next generation, and we strive to create opportunities that spark curiosity and inspire lifelong learning. We also seek to foster dialogue across disciplines, encourage diverse perspectives, and promote interdisciplinary collaboration. In a world facing increasingly complex challenges, the role of science and research has never been more important. The Shaw Prize remains dedicated to its mission, celebrating not just individual excellence, but the collective spirit of inquiry that drives humanity forward. We are pleased to see so many who share in that spirit. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Yang.
This evening, we're deeply privileged to have the Honourable John KC Lee, the Chief Executive of the Hong Kong Special Administrative Region of the People's Republic of China, officiating at the award presentation ceremony.
Please join us in extending a warm round of applause as we welcome Mr. Lee to share a few words with us. Mr. Lee, please.
Deputy Director Wolfgang of the Liaison Office of the Central People's Government in the Hong Kong SAR, Acting Commissioner Yu Yongsheng of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs in the Hong Kong SAR, Dr. Raymond Chen, Professor Kenneth Yang, Professor Reinhard Genzel, esteemed laureates, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good evening. I'm delighted to be here with you on this splendid occasion, the Shaw Prize Award presentation ceremony, a ceremony of the achievements by our remarkable scientists. Generations after generations, we stand on the shoulders of giants to gaze upon the future of science, consolidating, building on, and often breaking through the foundations built by them. As we gather to celebrate new achievements on this journey, we must also pay tribute to trailblazers who came before us. It is in this spirit of reference and continuity that we remember and honored a monumental figure for the Shaw Prize, the scientific community, and indeed humanity, Professor Zhenglin Yang. A founding member of the Shaw Prize Council and the chair of its board of adjudicators for over a decade, Professor Yang was instrumental in establishing the very standards of excellence we recognize today. As one of the first Chinese scientists to receive a Nobel Prize in physics, he reshaped modern physics and remained devoted to the scientific and educational developments of China, our country. Professor Yang's spirit of intellectual pursuit and his unwavering dedication to advancing knowledge for humanity continue to live on today. This commitment to excellence brings us here tonight, some 600 strong around the world, to honor this year's Shaw Laureates. Here, to pay tribute to their pioneering advances in 3 discrete disciplines: astronomy, life science and medicine, and mathematical sciences. My congratulations to each of you for your outstanding and continuing contributions to science and to civilization, to a future bright with cooperation, progress, and purpose. That, of course, speaks of the vision Sir Runran Shaw brought to compelling life. With the help of Professor Yang and other founding members, one that celebrates education and the pursuit of knowledge through science and research. That vision is central to the priorities and policies of the Hong Kong SAR government. We dedicate significant investments to innovation and technology, and the research and development that drives it. That same commitment shapes our post-secondary education. I'm proud to say that Hong Kong is home to 5 of the world's top 100 universities. And in the 2026 World University Rankings, announced earlier this month, Hong Kong claimed a record 6 spots in the top 200. Indeed, this year, for the first time, all 8 of our publicly funded universities made the World University Rankings. And in this year's World Talent Ranking, Hong Kong finished 4th overall, topping the world in the category of graduates in sciences. Hong Kong's outstanding institutions nurture our talented and hardworking young generation. They also help to attract some of the world's best academics and professionals to our city. Just this month, we welcomed a Nobel laureate in physics to one of our universities. We are thankful to many science laureates, as well as world-class academics and researchers in our city, and I'm confident that they will continue to propel Hong Kong's rise as an international education and INT hub. The Hong Kong government will continue to work closely with the Shaw Prize, our homegrown scientific award for international repute, in realizing the potential of science and in contributing to a world that prizes collaboration, harmony, and a future of promise and innovation for all. My congratulations to all laureates again. I wish you a memorable evening in Hong Kong, Asia's world city, Asia's science city. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Lee. We begin with the Shaw Prize in Astronomy. Please join us in welcoming Professor Reinhard Genzel, Chair of the Board of Adjudicators, to the stage.
Dear Chief Executive, dear esteemed guests, dear laureates, I want to start with a remark to what the governor just said. You spoke so right. This is going to be a great city for science and knowledge. Let you continue on this wonderful path. Please, it is great. Now, the cosmic microwave background, or CMB, is the oldest light in the universe, emitted about 400,000 years after the Big Bang. As you well know, the universe, as we know it, was created by an explosion 13.787 years ago. And this cosmic microwave background appeared when the universe first became transparent. It is almost perfectly uniform across the sky, excepting for small fluctuations that trace the differences in density from which all structure in the universe grew, including planets, galaxies, and us. The 2025 Shaw Prize in Astronomy is awarded to Professor Richard Bond and Professor George Efstathiou for pioneering research in cosmology, in particular for their theoretical studies of temperature and polarization fluctuations in that cosmic microwave background, because that tells us an enormous amount about the physics of the earliest times. Bond and Efstathiou did pioneering research in cosmology, in particular for their studies of the temperature and polarization fluctuations of the cosmic microwave background. They recognized that the cosmic microwave background was exquisitely sensitive to the composition, geometry, and history of the universe at that early time, made precise predictions of its behavior, and worked closely with experimentalists to develop it into an exceptionally powerful tool for cosmology and also theoretical physics. Their seminal calculations of the CMB power spectrum have been confirmed by radio telescopes operating from the ground, from balloons in space, and yield accurate values for the age and expansion rate of the universe, its spatial geometry, the fractional contribution of mass and energy content from so-called dark energy, a mysterious component of our universe, dark matter, equally mysterious, and ordinary matter like us, and the nature of the fluctuations that give rise to cosmic structure. Their work is one of the rare cases in astrophysics where later experimental studies accurately confirmed unambiguous, powerful theoretical predictions and calculations. The Shaw Prize also recognizes Bond and Efstathiou's other contributions to understand the large-scale structure of the universe, which touch upon nearly all aspects of modern cosmology. Efstathiou was a driving force in the cosmological data analysis of the Planck spacecraft of the European Space Agency, which has provided the most accurate to date all-sky measures of the cosmic microwave background and led both galaxy surveys and the development of numerical simulation of the evolution of large-scale structure. Bond introduced the concept of the cosmic web, a vast network of interconnected filaments, sheaths, and voids that acts as a scaffold for galaxy formation and evolution, and developed the mathematical theory of the statistics of peaks of random fields that underlies our understanding of the clustering of galaxies. Both have been leaders in promoting science and developing and mentoring talented young researchers. I congratulate them to the Shaw Prize.
Thank you, Professor Genzel.
Next, we are pleased to welcome Professor Dennis Low, a member of the selection committee for the Shaw Prize in Life Science and Medicine 2025 to the stage.
Dear Chief Executive, distinguished guests, Shaw Laureates, Wolfgang Baumeister is awarded the Shaw Prize in Life Science and Medicine for his pioneering development of cryogenic electron tomography, cryo-ET. Cryo-ET is an imaging technique that allows reconstruction of high-resolution, three-dimensional images of biological samples, including proteins, macromolecular complexes, and cellular compartments as they exist in the natural cellular settings. Cells possess billions of components that do the work to keep organisms alive. Now, sometimes these biocomponents work alone, and sometimes they work in multi-component complexes. Scientists have lists of the individual components, but in most cases, our knowledge comes from studies of such isolated components. In cells, however, these components do not work alone. For life to happen, proper interactions between these components are required. And this interaction must take place in cells that are crowded with billions of other components. Baumeister's breakthrough is cryo-ET, a technology that enables the study of biocomponents in the intact cell. In cryo-ET, biological samples are rapidly frozen to preserve their natural organization. Next, sequential pictures of the samples are captured as it is rotated to acquire its three-dimensional structure at nearly the level of every atom. Now, this revolutionary advance in imaging is important because knowing both the structure and location of macromolecular complexes within cells is critical for understanding their function in health and diseases. Now, cryo-ET has now achieved a level of resolution that brings scientists closer to visualizing macromolecules at near atomic resolution in their natural habitat within cells. Now, beyond his tour de force efforts in technology development, Baumeister demonstrated the power of cryo-ET through study of the 26S proteasome complex, a molecular machine that removes damaged protein from cells, which is necessary for our cells to stay healthy. His structural studies have also shown how disruption of proteasome function can contribute to human disease. Now, cryo-ET has also a major impact in virology, where work by Baumeister provide new understanding of how viruses interact with host cells to enable attachment and infection. Now, his studies have provided vital information that has guided new therapeutic developments. So in summary, Wolfgang Baumeister have both developed and applied methods to review the inner workings of cells at an unprecedented level. The power of this technology is transforming our understanding of normal life processes and how they can go wrong in disease. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Low, and kindly take your seat.
Following is Professor Hélène Esnault, Chair of the Selection Committee for the Shaw Prize in Mathematical Sciences 2025. She is an Einstein Professor Emeritus at the Freie Universität Berlin, Germany. Professor Esnault will deliver her speech via a pre-recorded video.
The Shaw Prize in Mathematical Sciences 2025 is awarded to Kenji Fukaya for his pioneering work in symplectic geometry and subsequent impactful contributions to symplectic topology, mirror symmetry, and gauge theory. Symplectic geometry is a branch of differential geometry which emerged in the early 19th century through the work of William Rowan Hamilton, who was an Irish astronomer, mathematician, physicist, and poet. Aside of classical and contemporary European languages, Hamilton mastered Persian, Arabic, Hindustani, Sanskrit, Marathi, Malay, etc. It got its name symplectic, complex in Greek, under the impetus of Hermann Weyl in 1938. Symplectic manifolds are those differential manifolds which carry a nowhere degenerated two-form. Fukaya envisions the existence of a particular kind of categories, nowadays called Fukaya categories. Their objects consist of Lagrangian submanifold on a symplectic manifold, that is, of those submanifolds which are maximally isotropic with respect to the two-form. In classical mechanics, the time evolution of a physical system moves continuously along a trajectory which is described in terms of a Hamiltonian function. Vladimir Arnold, born before World War II in Odessa, then in the Soviet Union, proposed in the 60s in Moscow conjectures in order to study the lower bound of a number of periodic solutions of the flow when the Hamiltonian is time periodic. In modern mathematics, phase spaces are generalized to symplectic manifolds. A refined conjecture concerns the lower bound of the number of points of intersections of two Lagrangian submanifolds in a symplectic manifold. In the 80s, Andreas Flohr, born in the mid-50s in Germany, initiated before tragically committing suicide at the beginning of the 90s, the Lagrangian Flohr theory as an approach to tackling Arnold's conjecture. It is based on the idea of infinite-dimensional Morse theory. Under some assumptions on a symplectic manifold in Lagrangian submanifolds, Flohr constructed the Flohr homology, a tool he could use to solve Arnold's conjecture under some supplementary assumptions. Fukaya, in Kyoto, with his collaborators Hota, and Hono, established and significantly extended the Lagrangian Flohr theory. This is one of Fukaya's main achievements. Around 1993, based on his idea of Morse theory, Fukaya discovered a higher algebraic structure and proposed a new construction assigning an A infinity category to any symplectic manifold, called nowadays the Fukaya category. At that time, much of what was needed to realize his vision was missing. Fukaya introduced and developed the theory of Kuranishi structures, initially in collaboration with Ono and later with Ota. His new concept helped solving some of the structural difficulties in the program to solve Arnold's conjecture. The Fukaya category, besides its internal elegance, is a highly efficient tool in symplectic topology. The Fukaya category has attracted the interest of many outstanding mathematicians in various fields. One significant reason is Kontsevich's homology mirror symmetry conjecture, formulated as an equivalence between the Fukaya category of Calabi-Yau manifold and the derived category of coherent sheaves on its mirror manifold. The Shaw Prize Committee for Mathematical Sciences 2025 is pleased to award the prize to Kenji Fukaya.
Thank you, Professor Esnault. We again invite Professor Reinhard Genzel, Chair of the Board of Adjudicators, to the stage to present the awards to the Shaw Laureates.
Professor Genzel, please.
First, we present the Shaw Prize in Astronomy 2025, which is shared equally by two recipients. The first share goes to Professor John Richard Bond.
There is this big halo of dark matter which surrounds this. and essentially gravitationally holds the whole thing together. If you didn't have something like that, you would not be able to have a stable set of spiral arms.
Professor Bond is currently a professor of the Canadian Institute for Theoretical Astrophysics and University Professor of Toronto, Canada. Professor Bond, please. Congratulations, Professor Bond.
When George and I heard about the 2025 Shaw Prize, we were on our way to CMB at 60, celebrating all that the first light of the universe has revealed since its discovery. It was perfect timing and great for the field. We collaborated on dark matter in 1980 in Berkeley. And the CMB transport work, building codes from foundational first principles for all of the components of the universe in Cambridge, Stanford, Santa Barbara, CETA, and Oxford. We joined hands with CMB experimentalists in small and now quite large teams to develop novel analysis methods for what became a CMB data flood. Through the many signal detection campaigns of the 90s, 00s, 10s, and 20s, including about 3 decades of the Planck satellite, and for me, about 2 decades of the Atacama Cosmology Telescope. Movable feasts of ideas and results and fun with many friends of all ages in the field. 2 institutes have been crucial to 4 decades of intense work back in Canada on all matter cosmic, from emergence in the ultra-early universe to the ultra-late entangled cosmic web and everything in between. First is CETA, the Canadian Institute for Theoretical Astrophysics, based at the University of Toronto, where we have been home to over 250 citizens, postdocs, our special niche, professors, and graduate students, with a large fraction now playing major roles in the astro world and at Canadian universities, including the many who collaborated with me on the cosmic superweb that binds us all together. As we say, once a citizen, always a citizen. The Canadian Institute for Advanced Research, CIFAR, is the other. We chose our fellows and guests well, bringing them to exotic locales across Canada. 9 Shaw Laureates, 2 Nobel Prizes in physics, and those are not even the most famous. George was a fellow for a few decades, and I am delighted to point out 3 more today here. Professors Alex Zale, Carlos Frank, and Shaw Laureate Simon White. We have been all well entangled cosmically and in friendship for 45 years in this golden age of cosmology. In that spirit, I raise a virtual glass at this Shaw movable feast. Come by. And at a last point, a special shout out, Karen, my wife, and sister and brother-in-law, Roseanne and Bruce. Come by as well.
Thank you, Professor Bond.
The second recipient of the Shaw Prize in Astronomy 2025 is Professor George Efstathiou.
As a young child, like many children, I would ask questions of, what are we, why are we here? And then you look at the night sky and you ask questions about, the universe, where does it end, and so on.
Emeritus Professor of Astrophysics at the University of Cambridge, UK. Professor Efstathiou, please. Congratulations, Professor Efstathiou.
So it's a tremendous honor to receive the 2025 prize in astronomy, and I'm especially pleased to be sharing this prize with Dick Bond. Dick and I first met as young postdoctoral research assistants in Berkeley at the University of California back in 1979. We were very lucky with our timing because cosmology was about to undergo a series of pivotal paradigm shifts, which eventually led to the standard model of cosmology that we have today. We first started working on neutrinos as dark matter, so the idea was that the matter in the universe was dominated by some different type of matter compared to the ordinary matter. And then we quickly moved on to calculating the temperature fluctuations in the cosmic microwave background expected in inflationary cosmologies dominated by many different types of dark matter, including cold dark matter. Our goal was ambitious, and it was to make physically motivated models of cosmology and to use observations of the large-scale clustering, the large-scale structure in the universe, and the temperature fluctuations of the cosmic microwave background to learn about the physics of the early universe and the nature of dark matter. During these postdoctoral years, our collaboration was intense, and I regard Dick more like a brother than a scientific collaborator. After the discovery of the temperature fluctuations by the COBE satellite in 1992, Dick and I worked together on the European Space Agency Planck satellite. The temperature fluctuations measured by Planck are in spectacular agreement with the inflationary lambda cold dark matter cosmology. Back when Dick and I first started working on the cosmic microwave background, I didn't imagine that it would ever be possible to make measurements with the precision achieved by Planck. But it was possible, and the cosmic microwave background has become the most powerful way of testing the physics of the early universe and the nature of dark matter. I'm very grateful to the Shaw Foundation for their recognition of our work, and I'd like to pay special thanks to my family, many of whom are here today, and especially my wife, Yvonne. It's not easy living with an obsessive scientist, and I'm very grateful that they've been able to put up with me. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Professor Efstathiou.
Following is the Shaw Prize in Life Science and Medicine 2025. The award goes to Professor Wolfgang Baumeister.
I thought it would be fantastic and we could learn an awful lot about the functioning of cells if we could visualize basically the entire molecular population inside a cell and how, the molecules involved interact with each other.
Director Emeritus and scientific member of the Max Planck Institute of Biochemistry, Germany, and distinguished adjunct professor at Shanghai Tech University, People's Republic of China, Professor Baumeister, please. Congratulations, Professor Baumeister.
Yeah, dear fellow laureates, ladies and gentlemen, first of all, I wish to express my heartfelt gratitude to the Shaw Prize Foundation and to its Life Science and Medicine Selection Committee for this extraordinary honor. I'm humbled by joining the roster of distinguished colleagues who have been awarded the Shaw Prize before me. In the 1980s, we were studying the molecular machinery of protein quality control in cells, with a focus on the proteasome, the principal molecular machine for the selective destruction of proteins which had either become dysfunctional or were no longer needed. To this end, we used, with some success, the existing tools of structural biology. However, many mysteries remained. We felt that we might be able to unveil some of these mysteries if we could study the proteasome not only in isolation, but also in its functional context in the intact cell. Electron tomography allows to perform structural studies of pleomorphic objects such as cells or organelles, and in conjunction with cryogenic specimen preparation techniques ensuring a close-to-life structural preservation of cells and tissues, we thought it had a potential to provide very deep insights into the molecular architecture of cells. Amongst the practitioners of electron microscopy, skepticism prevailed. I mean, they were all concerned that because of the radiation sensitivity of biological material embedded in vitreous ice, this could not work. The first breakthrough was achieved in 2000, but from there to where we are now has been a long journey with many obstacles along the way. Now, cryo-ET has a firm place in structural cell biology. It contributes to a better understanding of the inner workings of cells, and it might ultimately lead to new medicines. The molecular sociology of cells is still a largely uncharted territory, but exploring the unknown and making unexpected discoveries is the fun part of doing science. Breakthroughs in science rarely happen in isolation. They result from the collective efforts of teams, and I had the privilege to work with generations of motivated graduate students and other colleagues. This prize celebrates their work as much as mine. They came and come from all over the world. In an ideal world, science is without borders. But we are not living in an ideal world, but we should defend, the ideal of science without borders. In closing, I wish also to thank my family, in particular my wife, for her love and support over more than half a century. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Baumeister.
Now we will present of the Shaw Prize in Mathematical Sciences 2025. The award goes to Professor Kenji Fukaya.
One important thing in mathematics is that something which was not important became important 100 years later. So there should be somebody who found something which is new directions and which people never imagined. So for that purpose, of course, you need to be yourself.
Professor at the Beijing Institute of Mathematical Sciences and Applications and the Yale Mathematical Sciences Center at Tsinghua University, People's Republic of China. Professor Fukaya, please. Congratulations, Professor Fukaya.
Good evening, everybody. I am very happy, honored, and excited to receive this very prestigious prize. Mathematicians' work usually is in solitude. If a mathematician chooses a random person in the street and tries to explain his work to that person, the possibility that person understands you is something like 1/100 million. There are some mathematicians who do not care about it, such as Gregory Perelman, who said, if my theorem is correct, the prize is unnecessary. However, it is rare, even among us mathematicians. Most of us want to be understood by somebody. I am now very happy to know that our works are understood and appreciated by certain people. I want to take this occasion to thank people who are important for me. When I was 20s and 30s, I was working in Riemannian geometry. The most important collaborator of me at that time was Takao Yamaguchi. When I started working on simplex geometry, I learned many things from my collaborators. When I wrote my first article in this field, which is related to the category called Fukaya category, Kaoru Ono tried to explain me that the Frey homology of Lagrangian submanifold, which the category is based on, is not defined in many important cases. He was so polite and moderate that it took me some time to understand that he is pointing out a gap in my manuscript. Actually, to take care of this point is one of the most important points of our work, jointly with Yongin-Oh, Hiroshi Ota, and Ono. It is mostly 30 years we have been collaborating. Those were happy and fruitful days. We spent so many times discussing mathematics from tiny technical detail to wild dreams. Recently, I decided to work on mathematics in gauge theory, from which I was away for more than 20 years. My young collaborator, such as Aryakaba Daimi, taught me much about the recent development of mathematics in gauge theory. The last but not the least, I thank my family, especially my wife Makiko. For example, she agreed to go to US with me in Stony Brook in Long Island, United States. It is usually impossible to live without a car, especially when we have children. I never can drive. Maya had done all the jobs to take care of our children and of myself, to grow up and to survive. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, Professor Fukaya. Tonight is a truly exceptional occasion as we witness the gathering of the Shaw Laureates and Adjudicators of Hong Kong.
This photo beautifully captured the 22nd journey of Shaw Prize.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Shaw Prize Award Presentation Ceremony 2025 has now come to a close. Thank you again for joining us tonight.
We look forward to seeing you next year as we continue to celebrate the remarkable achievements of distinguished scientists and scholars.
Thank you and goodbye.